Good afternoon, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally, and I mean literally, does not work. It is 6:30 p.m. in the afternoon. I've been on the road all day, but I'm here back in my new studio. We still have a few more things to get done before the draft, but we are still getting this thing together. And what we're going to start doing is we will be doing a daily evening Dallas Cowboys report from right here. In fact, hold up. We've got so many bells and whistles here. I need to do something. I got so many different toys and things out here that it's crazy. I've got the lighting. I've got to work on getting it so we can get that perfected and all that. And of course now the retractable canopy, which actually will help to even out the light a little bit better. And like I said, we are still getting this thing together. All right, so if you have been watching and keeping up with the Dallas Cowboys and everything that is, we ended up doing some major things. We signed some major players today. We actually signed, get this, from the Texans, a punter. That's right. We ended up signing Byron Angler, A-N-G-E-R, to a one-year deal. Now, that's not a sexy pickup. I know it's not a sexy pickup. In fact, I'm kind of like, okay, we passed on KJ Wright. And we signed a punter. Okay. All right, but a punter is important. We did let go our punter before, that we had. He was getting up there in age. So, okay, I'll give you I'll give you a little clap, or actually maybe it should be a slow clap. Yeah, slow clap. Then, as I'm driving up the road, I hear that the Dallas Cowboys, after this morning hearing that Jerry Jones is in love, I'm talking about lust, Jerry Jones, I want me some glory holes, with one Kyle Pitts. Now, defense be damned. Jerry Jones is in love with a tight end. And I'm sitting here thinking in my mind, we've got three wide receivers that potentially could be over 1,000 yards between them. It really, looking at that, it should be the case. But yet we want to add more firepower there. And so I hear, after hearing that Jerry Jones wants Kyle Pitts, I said, oh, my God. Okay. I feel you, Jerry. I feel you. I hear that the Cowboys signed a tight end today. I was like, what? Who'd we sign? Jeremy Sprinkles. And I was like, who? Michael turned to me and said, wait. Michael said, wait. Jeremy who? I said, Sprinkles. I think that's how I pronounce it. S-P-R-I-N-K-L-E. Sprinkles. Michael said, Dad, Sprinkles? That's his name. He said, he sounds kind of soft. I said, he sounds what? He said, he sounds kind of soft. How you going to be a tight end? It's okay. He's like, what's his numbers like? I said, well, he's a blocking tight end. Last year, wait for it now, offensive output. Now we got Kyle Pitts, who was a beast. Kyle Pitts, who'll be out there catching all kinds of passes. Then you get Jeremy Sprinkles. Last year, Jeremy Sprinkles, oh my God, for the Washington football team. Now, granted, they did have some issues at quarterback. He had one reception for 6 yards. Now, the year before, he did have 26 for 241. But the Cowboys say he's a blocking tight end because we got enough pass catchers. In my mind, here's what I felt.
Enough is enough. I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. Everybody strap in. about to open some fucking windows.
And I opened up the windows on the truck. I'm trying to understand something, because what you have to have is an identity. You have to have an identity. And it feels like the Cowboys don't know what their identity is going to be. Are we going to be a passing team, like, say, Air Coryell? Which, they did the deep ball before it was cool. We're going to pass the ball, and then we're going to pass the ball some more. That's an identity. Then there was like the Washington football team that decided we're going to come up with the one-back offense. We're going to take the fullback and make him an H-back, and we are going to run the hell out of the ball with our slow, old-ass running back, and did it to perfection. That was their identity. They even called their offensive line the Hogs. That's an identity. You had Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, you knew it was basically about throwing the rock all over the place. That's what it was. That was an identity. Chicago Bears, monsters of the Midway, ain't never had a 4,000-yard passing quarterback. That's an identity. Can you tell me what the Dallas Cowboys identity is right now, or what they're trying to build as their identity? I'm trying to understand, because if you add a blocking tight end along with adding a pass-catching tight end with 3 potential 1,000-yard wide receivers, how does that work? Are you going to be a ground and pound team, in which case you need a really good blocking tight end, and you're going to pound the rock with Zeke Elliott? That's an identity. Or are you going to be a high-flying circus acrobatic, we're going to dig the deep ball team and be pass happy? That's an identity. Right now, I don't think they know what they want to be. And unfortunately, this kind of reminds me of our defense last year. Our defense last year, Mike Nolan, I'm not going to say Mike Nolan is a bad coach. I'm not going to go there with that. But Mike Nolan basically went to the players and said, what do you like to do? What are things you feel comfortable in doing? Because it didn't seem like they had an identity of what they wanted to do. We're a 4-3, we're a 3-4, we're a hybrid. We're a chameleon, okay? We're a chameleon, not a gecko, a chameleon. We're going to change with everything else. And there was no identity, and thus there was no thing that you looked at and said, we can do good. There's a thing that's known as a jack of all trades and a master of none. You can look at me, and actually I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I know how to do some plumbing. I know how to do some electrical. I know how to do framing. I know how to do drywall. I know how to do painting. I can build cabinets. I am a jack of all trades. With the exception of carpentry and cabinet making, I'm really good at the other ones. But I'm not the best at it. Because nobody can know and do everything. You need to specialize in something. So Jeremy Sprinkles, again, a blocking tight end. We lost Blake Bell back to Kansas City. He's a blocking tight end, so I guess they figure we're going to go ahead and plug that hole. But I go back to my question here. Does this mean we're going to sign a fullback as well? Are we going to be a ground and pound team? Or what? I just don't know. But I think the Cowboys need to come up with some kind of identity of what they're going to do. Now, in other news on the Cowboys, again, I've been on the road, so forgive me. They always tell me, don't quit your day job, because there is no future for you here on YouTube, okay? You're not going to make a living doing that, and that's why I'm always out there busting a hump. In other news, there was videos of Dak Prescott out working out. He's out there throwing the football around, moving around on his ankle and everything else. And the funny thing is whenever you see anything about Dak, there's always this negativity, and this has always been Dak Prescott's negativity in everything, or people's perception. No matter what happens, they will find a way to say, oh, this isn't good. You throw 3 games of over 450 yards, a record in the NFL. Oh, it's only because, they were being blown out. If that was the case, then how come, like Andy Dalton didn't do that when they were getting blown out all the time? How come you didn't see Matty Ice do that, because they got blown out all the time and having great receivers? And so some people, I was sitting here reading the comments, we had Dak Prescott, moving around. Oh, he's throwing off his back leg. That's a bad sign. Oh, his leg's not healed. And it's just like, why are we so negative about everything? Why are we so negative about everything? The NFL hasn't even started OTAs yet. It's early April. We got April, May, June, July. We got 4 months before they even start training camp. 4 months. And literally, in the time that he tore up his leg, he's in fantastic shape when you think about it. It's only going to get stronger. And one other thing that was interesting conversation, I was talking with my buddy Derek from Megabytes Computer. And if you got a problem with your computer, if you done been to some of those sites that you shouldn't have been in, you know what I'm saying? Or if you're in Florida and you've gone through and you've shot your computer or buried it in the backyard, Derek is the guy to get it fixed. And we were talking about why some guys have it all as a prospect and don't pan out. Because we're right now looking at probably at least the first 3 picks being quarterbacks. More than likely the first 4 and maybe the first 5. The Falcons are trying to trade their pick right now to have somebody move up and be able to take that quarterback so they can get more compensation. But I'm sitting here thinking back right now, quarterbacks drafted in the top 5, how many of them are successful? I can think about like RG3 had one good rookie year, and then, the leg injury went downhill. I can think Andrew Luck was, a number 1 pick, and Andrew Luck had a pretty good career, but was always injured. But then I think about guys like, Vince Young. I think about guys like Jamarcus Russell. I think about guys like Mariota and Winston and Goff and Wentz. And you look at these guys, they have all the tools. They've got the size, the strength, the arm, the pedigree. They went to the right schools. But the funny thing is you see guys who weren't part of the football factories. Guys that weren't high draft picks. Best quarterback in football, Russell Wilson, arguably. 3rd round draft pick. They basically said, if you need a guy as a backup, he might be your guy. Aaron Rodgers, he fell late in the draft. Alex Smith, he was the number 1 pick, and that's another one we can put on the list. You think about Tony Romo, who went undrafted. You think about Tom Brady, who didn't even look like an NFL quarterback. And here's my thought on this, and I'll go into more of this later on another video, because you know how we roll. Okay, it's the Jobu Sports Report. We do a lot of videos. We put a lot of content out there. I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy either. It's not. But when you're sitting out here, I've got my ceiling fans blowing right now. I've got my big ass monitor here. I'm hooked to the computer system. I got multiple cameras. I can even do sound effects, like we got the canopy in case it rains. We are good. So it's easy to put out content. But here was my hypothesis. When you are a guy like Trevor Lawrence, and I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence won't be a great quarterback, but when you have been deemed the guy, and you have been all your life, you go to the football factory. When you go to that football factory, you have so much talent around you. You have guys that are 2nd and 3rd strings that could be starting on other programs. When you have great talent around you, you don't necessarily have to be that great to look really, really good. And more times than not, your team has so much talent that they only have to show up to win. Problem is, when you get to the NFL, everybody is great. Everybody, even the teams that are poor, are good teams with great players, exceptional players. And now, instead of being the big fish in the little pond, you're out here with all these sharks. And you never really had to fight and scrap, not being the guy and having everything handed to you. You understand that I've got to work harder than the next guy because I'm not that guy. You take Dak Prescott. Every level he went, he was never thought to be the guy that was going to be the starter. He got a chance, and he understood, I've got to make the most of this chance. I've got to work hard every day to get that opportunity. When Carson Wentz was benched, it was, you're not going to bench me. Trade me. I'm out of here. Because he didn't want to compete, because he's never had to. He's been the guy. And I'm going to think about this a little bit more, but you understand what I'm saying here. So as we have all these teams that are signing up to try and be the guy or find the guy, the quarterback, I'm going to go through and do some research and see how many of these top 5 quarterbacks actually have been successful. And I almost have to go back to probably Eli Manning and Peyton Manning. Phillip Rivers, I think, was a top 5, was he? I have to double check. But it's been a long time that more times than not, it's the Drew Breeses, it's the Tom Brady's, it's the guys that aren't the ones that end up being the success. So that being said, we gonna get ready to get up out of here. And I wish I could show you guys all the stuff that we put it. Well, yeah, maybe I'll do a video here because I've had to add more studio lights and everything in here. And listen, we'll do a tutorial. We'll show you a how-to video on what we've actually done and set up in here because I'm very, very proud. We still have more work to do, but we're going to get it together. And as always, Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Oh, one more thing here. One more thing. It's interesting because people like to start stuff on the social media things. People like a beef. Okay. Everybody likes a beef. Oh, they like to know people are mad. Oh, they'll go through and they'll try and turn the stuff up and try and make something that's not it. Something that's not there. And I've had so many people that have come to me and they're like, oh man, Fish is throwing you under the bus. Mike Fisher wasn't throwing me under the bus. I know who he was throwing under the bus. It wasn't me in Law Nation. Okay. It was not. I know who it was because he's plays a Cowboys insider and basically will take literally what Fish does almost verbatim and puts it out there. This is me. I'm broke-ass media. It's me. That's it. There's no staff that writes my stuff or does my light. It's me, okay? Because see, look, if I need my lights turned down, okay, I got to turn. Look, see that? I got to do it. There's nobody here to do any of this stuff, okay? But this is a guy who basically takes literally Fish's stuff and uses it and pretends that he's an insider. I've never once said I'm an insider. I do have people that I know that know people that do give me information, and I'm not going to say I'm an insider. I do from time to time get some news that other people aren't privy to, but I'm not going to say that I am, working at the Star or anything like that. Mike Fisher, he works at the Star. He knows that stuff. And Mike Fisher, we have each other's phone numbers. We contact each other. In fact, he just sent me a message here about signing up for his YouTube or about his book. book buy sign up sheet. All right. So understand there's no beef here with me, Law Nation, and Mike Fisher. Some other people? Yeah. So you need to go look elsewhere. All right. So back to Holmes here. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. I'll see you guys later.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?